Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Savannah, and if you are new here, welcome. And if you have been tuned in, my channel and what I talk about, what I teach is all about helping you reprogram your subconscious, regulate your nervous system to really heal your energy body and create and allow yourself to fully activate your purpose. So, if that is up your alley, if that's what you're working on, if you're on a healing journey right now and you want to fully become who you know is within you, who you know you're meant to be, but you feel like there are some underlying things, some underlying patterns that have been preventing you from doing that, have been causing self sabotage, then definitely subscribe to this channel. This is everything I talk about and how I work with clients and help clients completely shift and transform their life. So today's video is going to be all about stop self-sabotaging your desires and really how to break the patterns of your old identity. So, first and foremost, a majority of the women who end up coming into this type of work, they end up wanting to learn more about this. We're seeing so many more women right now coming online and like not actually coming online, but like their higher consciousness, their divinity coming online. And it's shifting a lot of women to want to go on this journey of self discovery, shifting their mindset and healing traumas, healing emotions. Like we're seeing so much of that now where women are just being drawn to this type of work. And there is a bigger reason for all of this. And I talk more about this inside some of my deeper containers with clients that I work with. But there is a deeper reason as to why so many more women are being drawn to this type of work, why they are feeling the nudge to do this. And really, it's because their purpose is trying to activate their um who they truly are is really wanting to come through like very deeply, like very extra for more and more women. And in order for these parts of ourselves, in order for our life to truly align and be what it could be, what we know it could be, and feel how it could feel, there has to be a part of us that goes through this healing aspect and this releasing aspect of old parts of ourselves, of old identities, and even generational trauma that has been passed down through lineages. There's a reason that so many women are ready and wanting to be the breaker, be the cycle stopper, because we're going into a deeper shift right now where we crave more love, we crave more peace, we crave more healing. And part of that process, part of that change starts with the individual. So that's why we're seeing so much of that. And so if you're watching this video and you resonate to any of that, then you are definitely in the right place. I see a couple of different types of women that are coming into this work more often than not. And maybe you can resonate with one of these different types, and maybe you blend a little bit between more than one, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong here. But I have worked with and seen women coming into this type of work who are in a season of their life where they have checked like so many boxes. They've built the life, they've built the success, they got married, they had the kids, they bought the home. Like they did all of the things that were kind of expected to do as a woman in society, where it's like, okay, graduate high school, then you go to college and you get your degree and your education, and then you start your career, and then you get married, and then you have your kids, and you check, like you do all these things. Or maybe instead of like building a corporate career, like maybe you build a business and you built it from the ground up, and now it's in a really successful place. But you do all of that and you kind of get to this point where you're kind of like questioning things. Is this all there is? Like, is this am I meant for more? Is there more out there? You may be feeling a little numb to it all. I've had women that have come into my work that on paper their life is literally perfect and looks like every other woman's dream, but she feels very numb to it all, feels very disconnected, not really in touch with her emotions, isn't really able to fully feel the fulfillment that she thought she was going to get from this life. And I promise you, this is completely normal if you do feel this way, and there's no shame to this. Like, you obviously have enough curiosity to explore how to move through this, which is a beautiful thing. The other types of women that I see coming into my work is they're so driven, they're so dedicated to creating a bigger life, and they know that they're meant to create a bigger life and have more money and have more impact and just do more than the what they've been molded and taught to do. Maybe they want to have a business, and they're trying to grow a business and it's not where they want it to be, and they might feel burnt out and frustrated because they feel like they've been putting in all this effort, all this work, trying to build something, trying to become someone that they know is within them, but they're not really where they want to be. They're not really seeing the success that they know is meant for them, that they know is their birthright, and they're kind of like feeling like no matter what they do, no matter how much work they put in, that it just something's not clicking, something's not right. And yeah, I see a lot of women doing that. That's kind of the category that I myself used to fit into as well. Now, the other woman that I see come into my work is she has gone through trauma. And all of these women could potentially have gone through trauma, but um, I've seen women that have gone through a lot in their life, and they did what they did to survive and still build a life that they love and a life that they desire, but they feel like they're really needing to do some healing work, really needing to do some releasing and letting go of their past. And it just feels like their past keeps coming up, and they get triggered by certain things in life, and they don't want to feel this way. They want to feel happy. They want to feel more in control of their life, but it just feels like um, so much of what they've gone through, they've been living in a state of survival and have just doing the best that they can to survive, and they're at a point right now where they feel ready to heal, they feel ready to go deeper with themselves, and they're very curious about going on that journey. So whether you're one or two or all of these women, just know that you're in the right place, and your curiosity itself is leading you to the people, the content, the knowledge that you need in order to shift out of this and shift into the version of you that you are wanting to become. So give me one second. I'm just reading my notes here. Okay, so I want to dive into how you actually fix these things, or what you actually need to do to shift your life to more of, again, what it is you truly desire, and really break the patterns that have been controlling your life, controlling your decisions, and leading to self sabotage. So, the thing that you have to understand is that your mind and body are a machine. They work together to keep you alive. That is ultimately their biggest role, is they work together to keep us alive. And then obviously there's other aspects of it that come into play as well. You know, our ego mind makes sense of the things in our world, it helps us make sense of things. But ultimately we have to understand that at our core, our physical body is animalistic. It does what an animal does, which animals are wired to survive. It's like survival of the fittest type of mentality. That's what our body and mind are wired to do. And it's not wired to actually give us like the fulfillment that it is we desire. It's not wired to create a huge expansive life that would go against its innate nature of protecting us, of keeping us alive. Because anytime that we do something that feels expansive, that feels big, that feels uncomfortable, that's essentially communicating to our animal body that we are unsafe, because it can't predict what's actually going to happen. It can't predict the outcome of doing that. And so understand that when we consciously have these big goals or these big visions for ourselves, if our subconscious is not aligned with what we're consciously saying that we desire, then there's always going to be like the butting of heads. And if you're not familiar with the subconscious ultimately runs 95% of our life. It holds all of the core beliefs that we have about ourselves, about life itself. And a majority of these beliefs are not actually truth. They are our truth that we've adopted from parents, people in our life, society, um, this like school, just like things that we've learned from other people that have just been passed down to passed down to passed down and never really questioned. And again, this is what makes up who we are. This is what our physical body responds to. Our physical body responds to our subconscious mind. It doesn't respond necessarily to our conscious mind, although we can give the illusion that it does. We tell it to do something and we can make it do something. But when we're not consciously telling it what to do and we want to like sit back and relax, or we kind of like go into autopilot, the subconscious is what kicks into gear. Again, the subconscious runs 95% of our life, and the body responds to the subconscious on autopilot. So over time, you're basically training your machine to operate and function in a certain way. But then maybe over the course of your life, consciously you're growing and you're learning new things, and you're like, wait, I want to do this, or wait, I prefer this in life, I don't prefer this. Well, most people don't know how to actually reprogram their subconscious to match where they actually want to go now, where they actually want to move forward to. And it's creating this huge, like, the butting of the heads, where that's when we self-sabotage. We try really, really hard consciously to make our body do something, show up a certain way, respond a certain way. But then the moment we take our eyes off the road, per se, right, we kind of like let the machine go on to autopilot. Well, then the subconscious is going to kick into gear and start running things and keeping things running, but it's going to do it in alignment with what it is programmed to do, not with what we're consciously trying, the new direction that we're trying to go, or the new version of ourselves that we want to be. So this is where you actually have to do subconscious reprogramming. And to briefly share with you how to actually do this, because you may hear subconscious reprogramming and it may seem super, super complicated. And I will tell you that it's actually very, very, very simple, but it's not easy to do. And this is why I actually teach an entire program on it, which you can join the waitlist in the description if you want to do this program in 2026. It's called 6 Weeks to Release Old Identities and Embody Your Soul Essence. And it walks you through how to actually do this. And the thing that you have to understand is you kind of have to like absorb the information plus integrate the information over and over and over again for it to become more natural for you. You can be introduced into this work and it consciously, all of it makes sense, right? You're like, oh yeah, like that makes sense that I would have to do that. But here's the thing, again, like the moment you take your eyes off the road and you go into autopilot, things kick in, which is why you have to create a new autopilot. And that does take intention, it takes work, it takes more effort from your brain, because you can't always just allow yourself to go into autopilot how you naturally do when you're in the middle of reprogramming, because you'll naturally just revert back. That's where self sabotage comes in. So, when you're actually reprogramming your subconscious, one of the places that we start inside my program is, first of all, we want to identify the subconscious belief that you want to reprogram to. So, getting clear on what is the belief of the person that has the thing I desire. So, a really easy example of this can be a fitness example where, let's say you want to really go all in on your health journey, you want to start eating healthier, you want to lose a certain amount of weight, you want to start exercising regularly, and actually like it doesn't feel so much of an effort to do those things. Well, then what you can do is you can backtrack and say, what would be the subconscious, the autopilot belief that someone who embodies this version that I want to be, what would be their belief that they would have to have in order for these things to happen for them on autopilot? And you want to get super, super clear on the belief of that person. So the belief could be literally just, I am healthy. I am a healthy person. And when you think about someone who believes at their core that they're healthy, they naturally do things that fulfill that belief. They don't, if you're someone who truly believes you are healthy and you embody that fully, you don't, it's not your autopilot to go grab fast food every single night for dinner. Your autopilot is to meal prep and is to have like cook food at home and to buy healthier foods. It's not something you have to consciously tell yourself to do and make the extra effort to do. It just is a natural thing that you are embodying. So you first want to start there by getting clear on what is the belief of the person who desires XYZ. And you can apply this to literally any area of your life. Specifically the women I work with, they desire more for themselves. They desire to step more into their purpose in life. They want to live a life that lights them up. They want to do things that they're passionate about. They want more income. They want financial freedom. So you can apply this to areas like that specifically and get really clear on who is that version of me? What does she really believe? Now, once you get clear on this, what you want to start to identify, and you can grab out a notebook, you can write a whole list of things that come to you where you want to start to identify her thinking patterns and how she speaks. So again, we're really trying to get clear on her autopilot, not again what she has to consciously make herself do, but like what's her autopilot. So if she is someone who is healthy, start to identify what are some of the thoughts that she thinks on autopilot. Like, for example, when she's hungry, what's a natural thought that comes up for her? Oh, I'm going to grab an apple, or oh, I'm going to go grab my meal prep, or I'm going to have a protein shake. She doesn't naturally think, "Oh, like I could just run to McDonald's drive-through and grab something to eat." You notice how the thoughts are very different and they align with very different individuals. So you want to start to think about her thoughts, and you can use this to apply more to your specific scenario, situation, belief, where maybe right now the thoughts that you are thinking are very disconnected, very unaligned with that person. So you can think of it as the opposite of, well, what would this person think? If you're trying to shift your thoughts to more of that, you have to start to, you can apply this more to like cater to you specifically. The second thing is paying attention to how she reacts to things. And even like when things don't go her way, or just like people around her, starting to pay attention to how she's reacting emotionally. So when we think about the health, the health example, thinking about how she maybe feels about working out. So, if she believes that she is healthy, she likes to do things to take care of her body, she's going to feel very differently about going and doing a workout than someone who is feeling a lot of resistance towards working out and doesn't enjoy it. The emotions that they're going to experience are very, very different. And this is how this comes into play with your machine, where emotions are part of the nervous system, they're part of the body. So when you can start to manipulate the emotions that you're experiencing, this will also help shift your subconscious beliefs and reprogramming. And it'll get your mind and body to start recalibrating and rewiring together. And the last thing you want to look at is obviously her habits, the actions and behaviors that she's taking. So again, for each of these things, you should be making like a huge list that you feel is going to be most helpful for you to start to shift into. Taking a look at her habits. Does she meal prep? How many days a week does she work out? Where does she work out? What does she do for a workout? How much sleep is she getting? Like all of these different things that we would think of when we think of a healthy person. Um, can allow us to get really clear on where are those gaps in my life and how I'm showing up, and how can I start to shift more into that person that I just identified and got super, super clear on. And the last thing for you to do is, once you have all of that, you want to start acting like that version of that person and actually believing that you are that person. I know that this can feel a little challenging in the beginning because it feels like you're acting like someone you're not. But this is how you actually close the gap. This is actually how you start to shift from an old identity to embodying the version of you that has the thing that you already desire, because then self-sabotage stops getting in the way. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but the only reason you're self-sabotaging is because you're embodying a version of you that doesn't have the thing you desire. So you have to actually start embodying, and embodying is all of those things I just said. Once you start embodying them and actually believing that you are that person, that's how you train your subconscious and your mind to start rewiring and showing up like that. So I hope that that was helpful. Like I said, I do have a program, a 6 week program that teaches you exactly how to do this, all of the steps you need to take, how to actually really integrate it into your life. And I promise you that you will start shifting so quickly with how you are showing up, who you are embodying as. I have clients that have gone through this program where in a short amount of time, like I'm talking within 3 months. I'm also talking within a couple of weeks. Just depends how much work you're willing to put in. It depends how quickly you go through the program to where you start showing up as the version of you that you want to be and the life you want to create. Um, it just starts getting easier and easier to embody that version of you when you know how to actually make those subconscious shifts within yourself. So you can join the waitlist in my description, in the description. I'll link it there. If you're watching this further down the road after we've reopened the program, that will also be there as well. But just know that you're getting a really amazing deal when you join the waitlist to join the program. And if this was helpful, if this is the type of content that you are needing in your journey right now, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one.